Welcome to the Rising Tide Capital Community Business Academy graduation. For the program this evening, we encourage you to keep your cameras on and show support for the graduates being honored. This event will be in English and Spanish. If you are a Zoom participant and you wish to hear a translation, you can do so by clicking the button labeled Interpretation at the bottom of your screen. Then select the language you would like to hear for the duration of the program. To send words of encouragement throughout the program, you can do so via the chat window, which can also be accessed at the bottom of your screen. Thank you, and congratulations to our graduates.
Sean todos bienvenidos a la graduación virtual de la Academia Comunitaria de Negocio de Rising Tide Capital. Te pedimos que mantengas tu cámara encendida durante el evento para apoyar a los graduados que celebramos esta noche. El evento será en inglés y en español. Si nos acompañas en Zoom y prefieres escuchar el programa en español, por favor haz clic en el botón que dice Interpretación en la parte baja de tu pantalla. Selecciona este idioma y empezarás a escuchar el programa en español. También puedes usar el chat si deseas enviar un mensaje de felicitación durante todo el evento. Gracias por acompañarnos y felicitaciones a todos nuestros graduados.
The views and opinions expressed in this virtual event and presentation are solely those of the individual artists in their personal capacity and are not reflective of, nor represent official policy, position, or views of Rising Tide Capital or New Jersey City University.
Los puntos de vista y opiniones expresados en este evento virtual son únicamente de los artistas a título personal. No reflejan ni representan la posición oficial de Rising Tide Capital o de la Universidad de la Ciudad de New Jersey.
Well, hello and good evening, everyone. My name is Kimberly Sumter, and you are here for her graduation. So good evening and welcome, Community Business Academy graduates and friends and families and guests. Again, I'm Kimberly Sumter, Senior Manager of Business Acceleration Services and Client Relations here at Rising Tide Capital. I'll also be your co-MC for tonight's ceremony. Like many of you, I am a graduate as well, class of 2014. So I know exactly what it feels like to embark on a journey of entrepreneurship. So for me, there have been times of failure. There have been times of a lot of struggles along the way in my entrepreneurial journey, but I also learned some valuable lessons along the way. But as I look back today, I can honestly say that it has all been worth it. And with the guidance and support that I received over the years from Rising Tide Capital, that guidance, that support, that love, that fellowship and mentorship was priceless. And now it's your turn. Tonight, we're going to honor you, 179 entrepreneurs from all walks of life with a common purpose of sharing your gifts and talents with your communities through entrepreneurship. So we hope that you feel a huge sense of accomplishment as we celebrate each and every one of you here tonight throughout the evening. And now I'd like to introduce you to my co-MC, Michelle Osorio.
Gracias, Kim. Buenas noches a todos y felicidades a nuestros graduados de la Academia Comunitaria de Negocios. Es un honor estar aquí con ustedes esta noche celebrando a 179 emprendedores entre familiares, amigos e invitados. Mi nombre es Michelle Osorio, coordinadora del programa en español aquí en Rising Tide Capital. Como miembro del equipo y graduada de la Academia Comunitaria de Negocios del 2016, he dedicado los últimos 6 años a hacer lo que más amo, apoyar a emprendedores como cada uno de ustedes a alcanzar sus sueños. Es un logro del cual me siento sumamente orgullosa. Mientras celebran esta increíble meta esta noche, recuerde que este es solo el comienzo. Dicen que el cielo es el límite, pero sepan que no hay límites para poder lograr lo que siempre han querido. Gracias nuevamente por estar aquí todos esta noche y disfruten de la graduación de la Academia Comunitaria de Negocios Primavera 2022.
Hello, my name is Tina Tang, and I am a Rising Tide graduate as well. I'm an online fitness coach who teaches women over 50 how to master their bodies through the skills of strength training. And today I will be guiding you through a stretch and to get you ready for the exciting graduation festivities that we have on Zoom. And because you'll be sitting in front of your computer or a screen for this, the stretch is to help your posture and get your blood moving, all of which is important for your health. You don't have to have your camera on for the next 3 minutes. That's about how long the stretch lasts. And I want you to just do what feels most comfortable for you. The whole family can also join me in the stretch. So the following can be done seated or standing. So you can choose which you prefer is most comfortable for you. And we're going to get started now. Lights on. Okay, so we are going to start, remember, seated or standing. I'd like you to take your chin and bring it down to your collarbone and lift it up towards the ceiling, but keep your shoulders away from your ears. But bring your chin to collarbone, back up towards the ceiling, stretching out your neck. Because if you've been sitting all day, it probably feels fairly tight. Now take your left ear, bring it to your left shoulder. Gently bring the right ear to the right shoulder, but keep the shoulders pulled away from the ears. So you're really stretching out your neck. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. If you're standing, I want you to gently pull your hips down into your chair or seat and then come back up to stand. If you're staying seated, hold your legs out, pull your quads away from your knees and just hold it. Now, if you're standing, we're going to continue gently sitting down into the chair, pushing to your heels to come up. If you're holding your quads out, you just hold and pull those quads away from your knees. The rest of us that are standing will continue to do these chair squats in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. If you're seated, stay seated, standing. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to raise your right hand up towards the ceiling, pull your rib cage out of your body, and gently reach over to the left side. And if I'm standing, I will do the same thing, pulling my rib cage up and over. And now let's switch over to the other side, reaching the left arm as high as possible, pulling the rib cage out and reaching over towards the right side. We got 3 more seconds here. And back to full stand. You're going to bring your shoulders forward, up, and pull it all the way back. Draw it back down. We're going to create giant circles in your shoulder joint. In 3, 2, 1, we're going to reverse directions. Back, up, and forward. Remember, you can do this seated or standing, creating circles, reaching far back, up, and forward. 3 more seconds doing this. 3, 2, and 1. Now take both your hands, clasp them behind you. If you're seated, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to draw the hands away from you towards the floor, pulling your shoulders away. Focus on squeezing your shoulder blades together, really opening up our chests. It's the opposite position of sitting in front of your computer all day. In 3, 2, and 1. If you're standing, you're going to come back down to seated position. Place your left ankle on your right thigh. And from here, I want you to bend at your hips, but reach your chest towards the calf. You should feel a stretch here in your left hip. You might not go very far, and it's okay. It's a figure 4 stretch in a seated position, really focusing on the hips. And let's come back to a tall sit position, and let's switch over to the other side. Placing your right ankle over your left thigh and gently reach your chest forward towards your calf, just as far as it feels comfortable, because you will feel a deep stretch. We have 5 more seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. Now place your hands together and clap, and let's get ready for the graduation.
All right. Thank you, Tina. I am so excited and grateful for a little bit of that moment of presencing in our bodies. Thank you for being amazing and awesome. and bringing our community together to kick off this very special evening. Hello, everyone. My name is Alpha Demelash. I am the CEO and co-founder of Rising Tide Capital. And tonight is a very special night for us as we welcome 179 entrepreneurs into our alumni community. I am so excited for each and every one of our new graduates, as I am for our growing community here. Rising Tide Capital has this mission of transforming lives and communities through entrepreneurship. We had a vision 18 years ago that really thought entrepreneurs, people like Tina Tang and Kim and so many others who are in every place, solutioning, coming up with new ideas, knocking on doors, and overcoming their own fears to create new businesses, to advance ideas, is the way that we're going to transform our communities from within. We also believed all those years ago that while there is tremendous talent in so many different communities across this country, that it's not, opportunity is not equally distributed, and that it is the task and work of those of us who are committed to social entrepreneurship and social change to make sure that we can have opportunities for those regardless of zip code, regardless of gender, regardless of where you're from, that if you have a dream, an idea, a vision, that you can actually bring it to fruition, and that you will do so supported by a community of like-minded individuals. So tonight is a celebration of that vision. I am so honored and excited to be here with you. I want to also give great thanks to all of your family members who may be watching tonight as well. We at Rising Tide deeply believe that entrepreneurship is not a solo sport. And while our instructors and coaches and our team and our board and funders and volunteers make up our community, we know for each of you in your homes, whether you're creating your businesses out of your kitchen or your garage or out of a co-working space, wherever you may be, that having a supportive network, a social network, and your families is so critical. So if you're a family member, a spouse, a parent, a sibling, we just say welcome and thank you for all that you do to support our dreamers and our entrepreneurs on their journey. Tonight is full of hopefully messages of encouragement to you. I know that we have a big theme for this graduation and actually for the year at Rising Tide around inside transformation, really peeling the layer to say, whoa, we have as entrepreneurs, as a community and as a world really have undergone tremendous transformation in the past 2 years, probably something that we've never imagined we will see in our lifetimes. And here we are celebrating this event virtually. We used to do everything in person. This all happened in the past couple of years, and it has made so many things possible. It has made it possible for us to be able to pull different people from different places and connect with all of you in the comforts of your home. It's also made it possible for us to do our Community Business Academy online. It's made it possible for us to share our mission and vision with others more easily. And so this network in New Jersey, which is where we were founded 18 years ago, which has now over 3,500 graduates in its alumni community, has grown to include other partners, nonprofits in 9 other states, with 3 more that just joined us a couple of weeks ago, growing our alumni base nationally significantly to over 7,500. And over time, in the coming years, we have absolutely no doubt that we will have thousands of Community Business Academy graduates in their communities, building, innovating, and changing the future right from within. And it is our humble honor to be on that journey along with such amazing people. So big thanks to our board, to our team, our funders. Thank you for coming along with us. Thank you for being an encouragement to our entrepreneurs. And most importantly, huge congratulations to our entrepreneurs. And just based on a little bit of the screen that I see some young people who are also watching. And I just want to say to them, I am the child of an entrepreneur. My co-founder, Alex Forrester, is the child of an entrepreneur. And so if you're a child listening, I just want you to know, dream big and pay attention to what your parents may be doing and support them, because you are the future. And we do all of this so that you can have a world that is full of opportunity and possibility, and most importantly, love. And so with that, I say welcome, congrats to all the hardworking entrepreneurs. And I look forward to continuing on this journey with you at Rising Tide for the long term. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Afia Wilson, also known as Makiba James, and I attended this most recent cohort of the Rising Tide Community Business Academy, and it has been an incredible experience. I feel very prepared now as an entrepreneur to take on the world.
Hi everyone, Kathy Dembowski from CBA Class 234 here. Wow, I can't believe 12 weeks is already over. Went so fast. I want to take a quick moment to say thank you to our professor, Angela McKnight, our class coordinator, Abby, and the entire Rising Tide Capital team. Every class was worth it. I learned something valuable in every single class. The investment of time by the staff, the knowledge and the resources that you provide in this program is just immeasurable. A sincere thank you. And I'm super excited for the next chapter in my entrepreneurial journey.
Hola, un saludo a todo el grupo de Rising Tide Capital y un agradecimiento especial a Tatiana y Marilyn por acompañarnos en todo este proceso y profesionalmente habernos enseñado todos sus conocimientos para nosotros fortalecernos como emprendedores. Muchas gracias por todo y les envío un abrazo fraterno.
Hilda, quería darte las gracias de corazón por ser una excelente maestra, por tener tanta paciencia con nosotros y enseñarnos tanto que nos va a ayudar en nuestro futuro. Te agradezco y te aprecio muchísimo y te deseo siempre lo mejor. Muchísimas gracias por todo lo que hiciste por nosotros.
Esta noche tengo el honor de introducir a nuestra graduada y representante del programa en español, Pacha Melissa Muenala Conterón. Ella es la cofundadora del colectivo Wiñashun, un grupo de mujeres indígenas quichuas y apicultoras que se dedican al cuidado, respeto y crianza de las abejas y usan los frutos de las abejas como la miel para la mejoría de salud de otros. Bienvenida, Pacha.
Alitutaguta charipaichi, tukuimashikuna, ñuka shutille mikan Pacha Muenala, ñuka kushijushka mikan nikai kayachishkamanda. Me encuentro aquí con mi padre, estoy muy feliz de estar con ustedes. Somos como la paja del páramo, que se arranca y se vuelve a crecer, y de paja del páramo sembraremos el mundo. Dolores Cacuango, líder indígena. Quiero decirles hoy que es un día muy feliz y especial para todos nosotros, ya que el simple hecho de llegar hasta aquí ya nos convierte en ganadores, porque nos arriesgamos a decirles sí a nuestros sueños, a construir nuestro negocio, decirles sí a construir nuestro legado. Le dijimos sí a Rising Tide Capital, a nuestros profesores y a coordinadores a que sean nuestros guías en este camino. Hay una historia que me contó mi hermana. Un adivino le dijo al Señor que en su vida iba a encontrar un gran tesoro. Tan confiado en las palabras del adivino, salió a buscar ese tesoro. Recorrió muchos lugares y al cabo de algunos años no encontró nada. Al regresar a su casa, el tesoro estaba escondido en su propia bodega. ¿A cuántos no nos ha pasado que salimos a buscar nuestro tesoro sin saber que la riqueza más grande está tan cerca de nosotros mismos y no lo podemos ver? En mi caso, fue un camino de 30 años en descubrir los beneficios de mi negocio. El poder curativo de la miel de abeja, la jalea real, la pitoxina, más conocida como el veneno de las abejas, y su poder terapéutico en analgesia, para artritis, migrañas, contracturas musculares, el asma, el COVID, varices, incluso cáncer, enfermedades como Parkinson, el Alzheimer. Tuve que estudiar 6 años de medicina para poder complementar mis conocimientos y poder fusionar la medicina natural con la occidental. Y así ayudamos a muchas personas dentro de mi comunidad en Otavalo, en Ecuador. Y lo seguimos haciendo. Mi amor a la apicultura, a la tierra, a la Pachamama fue heredado por mi padre que se encuentra aquí presente, y a la medicina que me lo heredó mi madre. El amor a mi cultura me llevaron a cofundar el colectivo Wiñashun. Lo que me hacía especial estaba tan cerca de mí y no le prestaba importancia. Y todos tenemos ese algo especial. No busquen en los demás, busca en ti mismo. Eso especial que te hace único y feliz. Pero el mensaje que quiero que se lleven esta noche es lo que nos enseñó Rising Tide Capital. Y es que de nada sirve el esfuerzo de todo lo que hemos aprendido si no lo ponemos en práctica. Y yo lo sé muy bien. Al principio todos tenemos miedo al fracaso, del qué dirán las personas. Pues déjenme decirles que en la vida siempre habrá personas que les dirán no puedes, no lo hagas, mejor ríndete. En mi caso, me miraban de pies a cabeza, diciendo, ¿tú quieres ser médico? Mejor cámbiate de universidad o escoge una carrera más fácil. Regresa al campo y sigue vendiendo artesanías. Y en tu mente empiezas a creerlo, a cuestionarte, te invade el miedo al fracaso. Déjenme decirles que no le teman al fracaso, pero sí al arrepentimiento. Desde ese día algo nació en mí, o dejaba que las palabras me destruyeran, o me sirvieran de apoyo para pisarlas y subir las escaleras del éxito. Y esta es una de las lecciones de vida que he aprendido, ya que siempre una lección aprendida debe ser compartida. A todos los eventos, cursos, talleres, aplicaciones, programas en los que podía aprender y crecer, ¿qué creen? Yo lo hacía. Y así es como pude tener amigos de verdad. Y entre ellos, la persona que nos guió era Central Capital, Vladimir Quito, Dalan Yapay, quien nos habló de la oportunidad de estudiar en Rising Tide Capital y poder materializar por fin nuestros sueños. Y eso no es todo, ya que estarán ahí, incluso después de la graduación, apoyándonos con talleres, capacitaciones, reuniones, para ver nuestro progreso. Recuerden que desde ahora ya no están solos en este camino. Y por todo eso, Yupachani, Tukushunguan, desde el corazón, muchas gracias. Pero más que llegar al final, disfruten al máximo cada experiencia. Y por esa decisión nuestra de cambiar nuestras estrellas es que hoy todos estamos aquí, cada uno con un emprendimiento. Hoy puedo decir con orgullo que mi nombre es Pacha Muenala Conterón, una mujer quichua tabalo, médico general y apicultora. En 5 años queremos que nuestro negocio, el colectivo, siga creciendo y haya aumentado el número de colmenas, ya que estos pequeños animales poco a poco se están convirtiendo en una especie en peligro de extinción si no actuamos ahora, aumentando la producción de miel de abeja, la jalea real, llevando nuestro producto a diferentes partes del mundo, demostrando que la población quichua-tabalo puede sobrepasar fronteras, ayudando a los demás. Y qué mejor manera que cuidando el medio ambiente. Además, quiero aprovechar haciendo un llamado a la comunidad internacional por la violación de derechos humanos que se está cometiendo hoy en el Ecuador. Toda la vida republicana, nuestro pueblo ha luchado por el mínimo de los derechos, ni siquiera el gozo total, sino el mínimo. El campesino, el agricultor, nuestras únicas armas son las voces de nuestro pueblo para denunciarlo. Pero aún así seguimos en pie, tratando de cumplir nuestros sueños pese a las desigualdades y a del qué dirán los demás. Y díganme ustedes, ¿cuál es su sueño? Yupay-chan.
Hello, my name is Sue Henderson, president of New Jersey City University, and on behalf of NJCU and our entire community, what a privilege it is to congratulate you, the June graduating class of the Rising Tide Capital Community Business Academy. It is always an honor for me to offer you congratulatory words to celebrate your accomplishments. As a leader of our community's anchor institution, I value the symbiotic relationship that truly exists between Rising Tide Capital and NJCU. We each have the common goals of providing educational tools to help people achieve their dreams. We unequivocally complement each other with our mission to change lives. As such, NJCU and Rising Tide Capital are catalysts for transformational change in the lives of the students that we serve. It's true that together we inspire and transform communities as we help navigate entrepreneurs to business ownership and generational wealth. The journey of personal transformation in one's life, from what could be to what will be, from dreams to reality, it's not always easy, not always comfortable. And when you first start, the end of the road seems so far away. But you put in the work. You are determined. You've reached your destination. That makes you an inspiration to anyone else who might want to begin a similar journey but might not know how to get there, or may even be too scared to try. You know, author John Mark Green said, "Change can be hard. It requires no extra effort to settle for the same old thing. Autopilot keeps us locked into the past patterns, but transforming your life, that requires courage, commitment, and effort. It's tempting to stay camped in the zone of, well, that's just how it is. But to get the really good stuff in life, you have to be willing to become an explorer and an adventurer. Today, I congratulate you on seizing control of your future and that of your loved ones by joining a family of entrepreneurs who have chosen to take control of their own destinies. You have placed a bet on yourself, and the odds are in your favor. You have demonstrated an unbreakable belief in yourself. Did you know that within 2 years of graduating, Rising Tide entrepreneurs achieved a 95% increase in their business sales and a 63% increase in household income? Through Rising Tide Capital, you're part of an inclusive community of resilient entrepreneurs building an equitable future together, prepared to thrive and lead in a sustainable economy for all. Use this community as a resource to encourage you and hold each other accountable to stay on your path. I would be remiss if I did not thank Rising Tide Capital for its commitment to our institution. Alex Forrester has graciously served on the NJCU Foundation Board of Directors for many years, and continued alliance with the NJCU Center for the Arts has led to regular meetings for arts and arts organizations within our city. Together, the relationship is fruitful. To the graduates of the Rising Tide Capital Business Academy, I wish you good health, good luck, and good fortune as you prepare to innovate and lead as you continue on your own journeys in the path to achieving your own American dream. I wish you the great success in your business and in our community. Congratulations.
None of this would be possible if it weren't for the generous support of our corporate and foundation partners, our partners in state and local government, our college partners, as well as individual supporters, who not only donate their limited funding resources to our efforts, but also in many cases volunteer their time and wisdom. To our partners here tonight, and to those who couldn't make it, thank you. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you. In a time filled with adversity and uncertainty, your support has enabled us to provide services to over 1,700 entrepreneurs since the COVID crisis began. It helped us support and strengthen nearly 800 businesses, and it helped us connect our entrepreneurs with over $1.6 million in loans, grants, and other financing. And yet, the true measure of our work is reflected in the real, lasting impact you've made in the lives of Rising Tide entrepreneurs and their families. You're helping dynamic, passionate individuals generate income, make ends meet, build wealth, and save for the future. At a deeper level, you're helping them tap into the creative potential that is in all of us. You're helping them follow their dreams. For that, for everything you do to make this happen, thank you.
Hi, it's Andre Clark here with Cerebral Visual. Just want to take this opportunity to thank Rising Tide along with Joe Masterson and Colin Bijan for doing such an amazing job. When you place your order with the universe, it places the people and things in your path to help assist you on your journey, and Rising Tide is doing exactly that. Keep up the good work, guys, and paying it forward. God bless you, and namaste.
My name is Stuart Santana, and I'm the co-founder of Alpha Sunrose Photography, a portrait wedding company based in Jersey City, New Jersey. I want to take this opportunity to thank Alpha Dimanish, Alex Forrester, and the entire team behind Rising Tide Capital. I want to thank you for the support and all the incredible work that you guys are doing with the local communities, empowering small business entrepreneurs to succeed in their businesses. Now I know how to pitch my business and pitch myself. And most importantly, I can go out and shoot weddings, what I do, but feel confident that I have the skills to manage my business as well. And last but not least, I want to thank from the bottom of my heart, LaShonda Tyree, my instructor, for your amazing support and encouragement throughout the entire process and the entire program as well. And Nadine, Antonin, thank you guys. I couldn't ask for a better class monitors. You guys are the best. And once again, thanks to everybody that worked behind the scenes in order to make this Community Business Academy a success. Thank you all.
A successful entrepreneur and former high school teacher, Joe Masterson combines his love of teaching with his passion for building communities by supporting new micro businesses and helping existing businesses survive in difficult economic times. He's been a Rising Tide Capital board member for many years, and he is also one of our amazing instructors for the Community Business Academy. Tonight, he'll be introducing the Executive Summary Contest winners for Spring 2022. Let's welcome Joe Masterson.
Good evening. So I've been an instructor and a board member of Rising Tide for quite a while now. I connected with Rising Tide about 10 years ago after the sale of my business, my partner and I. And it's been a pleasure working with you as you've striven to complete the Community Business Academy course. You ought to be truly proud of your accomplishments. Now it's time to recognize those who demonstrated excellence in producing their executive summary. The Jasmine Bala Legacy Grant Award was designed to provide grants toward the CBA graduation executive summary winners starting the fall of 2021. The Legacy Grant Award was created by my fellow longtime board member, Aisha Bala, and her family to honor and celebrate the memory of her brother and to carry on his spirit. Jassim had great passion for life and the unending ability to make people smile. We are honored to announce the executive summary winners for each class and the winners of the second Legacy Grant Awards this evening. As part of the Community Business Academy learning experience, each entrepreneur creates an executive summary for their business, which is entered into a class contest. These summaries are diligently evaluated before selecting a first and second place winners. The summaries were exceptional, and it was not easy for the judges to make a decision, but we are ready to share with you this semester's winners. First place winners will receive $650 from the Jasmine Bala Legacy Award to seed their entrepreneurial dreams. The first place winners from class 232, Mariel Acevedo. From class 234, Ayana Anderson. From class 238, Eric Wester. Class 239, Cynthia Renta. And class 240, Margaret Brown. Congratulations. From the first place for the Spanish class, class 231, Elizabeth Hernandez. Class 233, Elizabeth Vasquez. Class 235, Luisa Jimenez. Class 236, Pacha, Muenala. And class 237, Manuel Sabas. The second place winners from class 232, Jessica Troop. From class 234, Tiana Johnson. From class 238, Lisa Adams. From class 239, Jaslyn Gonzalez. And from class 240, Chris Parham. And second place winners from the Spanish classes, class 231, Camila Aponte. Class 233, Jenny Diaz. Class 235, Jennifer Sarsosa. Class 236, Idiana Tocagon. And class 237, Veronica Muenala. Congratulations, everyone.
Hola, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Luisa Jiménez y en nombre de la clase 235 quiero darle las gracias a nuestra facilitadora Patria Batista, que con tanto amor, entrega y dedicación nos condujo durante estas 12 semanas. No existen palabras suficientes para agradecerle todo el apoyo que recibimos de ella. Y de igual manera, al finalizar este curso, no solamente podemos decir que salimos mejores profesionales, sino que también salimos mejores seres humanos debido a la calidad humana de nuestra querida patria. Infinitas gracias para ti, muchísimas bendiciones y estaremos eternamente agradecidos.
Muy buenas noches para todos. Este mensaje es en representación de todos los compañeros de la clase 236 Sprint 2022. Y el motivo de este mensaje es darle nuestro agradecimiento a nuestros monitores Adalan Japán y Vladimir Quito, quienes nos han apoyado durante todo este tiempo de estas clases, tuvieron paciencia con nosotros, nos dieron todo su amor y todo su apoyo en cada una de las tareas, de las explicaciones, de los trabajos en grupo, de los talleres, y me parece que ellos han sido monitores maravillosos y estoy segura que todos estamos muy agradecidos con ellos. Les agradecemos inmensamente porque siempre nos ayudaron a trabajar en equipo, a sacar lo mejor de cada uno de nosotros. Y bueno, lo mejor de todo es que nos permitieron continuar adelante y ese apoyo sabemos que podemos seguir contando con ellos. Muchas gracias por todos, ustedes son los mejores. Gracias a Rising Tide Capital por esta maravillosa experiencia y por esta gran oportunidad de poder aprender, y esperamos poder continuar aprendiendo cada vez más y que ojalá podamos seguir todos nosotros con ustedes. Han sido los mejores hasta ahora con nosotros. Muchísimas gracias y bendiciones para todos.
Hola, soy Cristian Zaguay. Quería tomar un par de segundos para reconocer a un par de personas que han estado haciendo un trabajo extraordinario. Es un trabajo no fácil tener que poder repartir conocimiento a un grupo de personas un poco grande, pero cuando se tiene el amor y la pasión por hacer este tipo de cosas, se lo puede lograr. Y nada, quería enviarle un abrazo gigante y un agradecimiento gigante a Margot y a Adriana por el trabajo excelente que han estado haciendo durante nuestras clases, que ha sido espectacular y definitivamente hemos aprendido muchísimo. Se les agradece mucho el tiempo para que compartan su conocimiento y su experiencia. Continúen haciéndolo. Gracias.
Douglas Forrester has been our founding board chair since Rising Tide Capital started 18 years ago. He is an entrepreneur as well and is the CEO and founder of Integrity Health, Inc. While Doug has been a steadfast supporter of all the programs from Rising Tide Capital, the Community Business Academy and the commencement celebrations of our entrepreneurs hold a very special place in his heart. With the exception of one, Doug has made remarks at every single ceremony since the inception of the program 16 years ago. Please welcome Doug Forrester.
I'm so pleased to be here at this graduation. It is an emotional event for me every time I come before you. And the reason why is because it's a privilege for me to be associated with dreamers who make their dreams real. There are a lot of people in life who dream, and I commend them for it. But there are those who take their dreams and make them real. And when they do so, it's not just for their own benefit, usually. I find that the power of dreamers is very seldom for themselves alone. It is a wider embrace of what this dreaming and entrepreneurialism in this case is all about. My role this evening is to give a word of thanks, a word of encouragement, and a word of introduction to our keynote speaker. But I would be remiss if I didn't say how full my heart is tonight to think of you and to see you, at least virtually, to congratulate you for what you have done for yourselves, for your families, for your community, and for your country. You are what America is all about in terms of its aspirations for opportunity and creativity and success. But it's a success that's rooted, I think, in a sense of commonwealth, of coming together, of networking, of creating and achieving for the benefit of everyone. I thank our sponsors, without whom it would be very, very difficult to get where we are. In terms of the Rising Tide family. Many of you have been with us from the beginning, and we're so grateful. We certainly are grateful to our staff from Alpha and Alex and that larger embrace of those who have joined the team. I am humbled whenever I consider how hard you work and how effective that working is. We've transitioned to a different format in terms of graduation, indeed instruction, because of the ravages of the pandemic. And yet being able to pivot so quickly and effectively to maintain what Rising Tide is all about is owed to you. I'm grateful to be a part of this family. With regard to a word of encouragement, I would encourage you to visit 311 Martin Luther King Boulevard in Jersey City. We dedicated the space. It has been in operation for a little while, but it's a symbol of the partnership of the city, government officials, of private sector officials for financing purposes, public sector officials for financing purposes, donors, and the ingenuity of the Rising Tide family. It's a breathtaking place. And as we dedicated it this week, I thought it would be worthwhile to comment on a statue that is in the corner of the building. It's big enough not to be missed. It's a sculpture entitled Mother and Child by Earl Biss, who is one of the very, very few Native Americans who has made it on the world stage, usually through his paintings, but there are a couple of sculptures, of which this is one. And it symbolizes something so important for the Rising Tide community. And I think that saying a couple of words about it would encourage you, because you are part of that story. Earl Biss remembers a woman who was a Lakota Sioux who kept the children often because their parents had fallen victim to the ravages of the reservation, or there were special events, but the children loved her because she protected them very fiercely and very steadfastly. And this sculpture of what's fondly known as Mama Bull is that remembrance of her in an artistic and symbolic fashion, which of course that only art can do. Her steadfast gaze is obscured by a straw patch on one eye, which is to symbolize the fact that there's this paradox, this irony of life, that those who see are often those who are blind, and those who realize they're blind begin to see. And that's a message, I think, for all of us, because the message of Mama Bull is to remind us of the fragility of life. This is an outside scene, a lot of vulnerability, little children being protected by someone who herself would otherwise be very vulnerable as well. She points to the earth, reminding us that we are all part of this space which we have been given. And I find that this space which we have been given has been altered somewhat by this pandemic, because time and space, as we know, are related. And I, speaking as one, although I've heard others comment as well, there's something that's happened at time. There's something that has become disjointed and has given us confusion in some cases, but also a different lens and a perspective that can be a good thing, not to discount the terrible toll that many families have suffered because of the pandemic, but rather to reorient ourselves to realize that time and space bring us together. Mama Bull is as present to me today as I suppose she would be if I were to go back in time, because time has been changed. That's helpful to us because we all come together. And that view of things gives us that sense of solidarity of different people, of different times, of different places that we cannot separate ourselves from them. We should not separate ourselves from them. Mama Bull is a fitting symbol of what Rising Tide is all about, because great art is supposed to provoke us. It's not supposed to be decoration. It's supposed to annoy us and vex us and bullyrag us. It's supposed to take us out of our comfort zone and show us that, in this case, there are so many contrivances of life, of separating peoples economically or by gender or by race or by all of those artificial contrivances that keep human beings apart. These fall away. Great art shows us that we must look through different eyes and realize that we are partially blind. And when we do so, we can move to create new relationships. We can move to create the kinds of structures of opportunity that human beings are capable of in the best sense. So Mama Bull is worth seeing. I would encourage you to come by Rising Tide at 311 MLK Boulevard. It is your place. You have created that. You are part of the Rising Tide family now. And you will continue that association, I trust, through time. At the end, we cut a ribbon, but in a very real sense, as we were doing that with the mayor and other dignitaries, it occurred to me that this is symbolizing a ribbon that cannot be cut. That's who you are. You are a ribbon of entrepreneurs through a long period of time. Sometimes those ribbons get frayed. They can get wet. They can get very, very thin, and you might be afraid it would break. But this is a ribbon of humility, a ribbon of affection for a larger sense of community, and a ribbon of tenacity, holding on these strands that we might be together. I'm immensely proud to be associated with you. As we think about Mama Bull and what Rising Tide community symbolizes, it's those who often are excluded because of obstacles of childcare, obstacles of social ostracism and marginalization that are counterproductive to all of us. And the wisdom, I think, of Rising Tide is that we understand that we are all in this together. This is what a central message of Rising Tide needs to be in terms of our hearts united with one another. And I'm very pleased to say this evening that we have a keynote speaker who exemplifies that. We have Laura Overdeck, who will share with us a few minutes about something that is important, born out of her experience, a message for which we should listen. Laura is immensely accomplished. She's a philanthropist and entrepreneur. She has an astrophysicist degree from Princeton and a MBA from Wharton. But she has taken that background and she's turned it into so many good public initiatives. Principally, she is the founder and president of Bedtime Math Foundation, which works to expand access to math education to all children through their parents. In 2020, she served on the New Jersey Pandemic Relief Fund, along with our CEO, Alpha Demelash, working to provide both immediate and long-term COVID-19 relief for millions of New Jerseyans impacted by the pandemic, including childcare providers, small business owners, and entrepreneurs across the state of New Jersey. I've spoken with Laura. I know her capabilities, but more so, I think you'll understand that it is her affection for dreamers, her affection for the possibilities that the state of New Jersey and the larger community of which we are part can come together to face the challenges that separate us, that deny opportunities for creativity and entrepreneurialism on the part of those who are so valuable. If we do not succeed together, we will not succeed. Laura is a person who believes that, and I am privileged to welcome her to share with us tonight.
Thank you so much, Doug, for those kind words, and welcome everybody. Congratulations, felicidades. I've been watching your beautiful pictures go by and the businesses that you've started, and it's just incredible. You all have overcome an amazing number of obstacles to get here, and when my good friend Alpha invited me to give this speech, I said to her, what can I possibly tell these people? They've gone through so much more than I have. And so she and I talked, and I reflected on what I've seen along my journey, and I want to humbly offer some advice that might be helpful as you start yours. As Doug mentioned, I'm the founder of Bedtime Math, and it's a nonprofit whose goal is to help kids love math at a young age along with their parents. We're basically pitching America's most unpopular subject. So we've definitely had some challenges along the way, and I thought I'd share three things. The first is, as you launch your business, and many you've already started, but as you go forward, you're going to have to make a lot of decisions. And the simpler you can make those decisions for yourself, the less stress you will have, and the more easily you will motor through. And I think the first step along the way is to be lean, to be a lean startup. There's actually a book by this title that's fabulous. And it talks about how when you have a new idea that you're really excited about, test it out in the quickest, cheapest way you can. The story they give in the book is about Zappos. You might know the website where you can buy shoes. When the guy started Zappos, he actually built a fake website. It was just a page with pictures of shoes. And he sent it out. And when people wanted to buy shoes, they'd click on a picture and put in that they wanted it. He would then actually run down the street and buy the shoes from a store and mail them to the person, because he first wanted to see whether anybody would trust a website that would really let them buy shoes, try them on, and return them if they didn't want them. He made sure the idea worked before he ever went and tried to build a giant computer system. I just think this is an amazing story, and I think we should all keep that in mind as we try to test new ideas. Don't build the big fancy thing until you know people want it. The second piece of advice I kind of came around to is always have your North Star drive everything. I like to say that strategy drives human resources, hiring people, all that, and human resources then drives operations. You have to do them in that order. And we see so many times how people make mistakes. Whenever you hear someone say, you know, this is a great product and I should have it on the front shelf in my store, but I don't have room. That's letting operations drive strategy. If that's the best product, it goes on that shelf and then you make it work. You make the operations work. Or commonly we might hear someone say, well, a friend might want to come work for you and you don't really have the right job for them, so you're going to try to make a job. That is letting HR drive strategy. What you want to do is figure out, what do you want to do in your business? What kinds of skills do the people need to have? And then you go find those people, and it might not be your friend. And that's tough. So that's an example of where you might have a decision that's kind of hard to make, but if you hang on to your North Star, it will simplify it for you. And I guess the final thing I want to say is actually a special shout out to the women here, because I think that for all these things are difficult, in some ways, as Reshma Saujani puts it, she's the founder of Girls Who Code. She said, we raise our boys to be brave and our girls to be perfect. Those are very different. And you can see it in how men and women handle things as adults and handle decisions and how they fall forward into things. Because, for instance, it's been shown that when there's a job posting that says you need these 8 requirements, a woman who has 7 of them will say, I don't have the 8th one, I'm not really qualified. A guy who has 4 of them will say, oh, let me throw my resume in the pile, let's see what happens. We should all feel like that. I encourage everybody to fall forward and believe in yourself. It's also been shown with political candidates. If any of you ever want to run for office someday, guys need to be asked only one time. You'd be a great candidate, why don't you run? And they're often running. Women, it's been shown, have to be asked 7 times before they believe that they could really be a great candidate and give it a shot. We should keep this in mind. Let's all fall forward. When I majored in astrophysics, I was the only woman in my department for my year or the 2 years before me or the 2 years after. I was just completely surrounded. And I had to learn to be brave, not perfect. And all of you as entrepreneurs now embarking on this new journey, bravery, you're all brave in so many ways already. Now it's time to be brave about yourself and your own skills and your own abilities. So with that, so excited to see where you all go next and what you do. Good luck to you all, buena suerte. And I really look forward to hearing from Alpha and the whole team what you all go on to do. And I wish you the best of luck.
Good evening, everyone. I'm proud to be speaking to you on this important occasion. Laura, we are thrilled to have you with us tonight. Thank you for helping us love math and for being brave. Doug, thank you for your many wonderful years of service to the Rising Tide Capital mission. To the Community Business Academy graduates, congratulations on your well-deserved success. Felicidades a todos. Continue breaking barriers. Your willingness to see it through as part of your intentional personal transformation journey. Let's continue to work together to inspire and strengthen our communities. Now, it's a great pleasure for me to introduce one of our class speakers this evening, who is going to share how she used motivation as a molding tool. For the past 10 years, she has focused on building a career and lifestyle that complements and celebrates neurodivergent brains. She has developed one of the most useful tools for herself and others, virtual remote co-working sessions designed specifically for individuals with ADHD. Her honesty, vulnerability, and resilience throughout her journey are truly inspiring. Please help me welcome Alexandra Campbell from Square Peg Co-working Space.
Thank you so much for the kind words, Jasenia, and welcome again to everyone present tonight. And congratulations to all my fellow graduates. Around this time, 5 years ago, I walked into my apartment. At the time, it was in Boonton, New Jersey, for the first time in 3 months. I had just spent some time at perhaps one of the most iconic coastal destinations our fine state has to offer, the always lovely Atlantic City. And you may be thinking, how nice, a summer spent at the beach, hitting the slots, taking in the views and the sunshine. And I will be the first to say that that's exactly what I was envisioning for my stay there too. But the director of the drug and alcohol rehabilitation facility I had been admitted to had different plans. Talk about a buzzkill. So at this point, you might be wondering, what does this have to do with our graduation from the CBA or Rising Tide Capital or even entrepreneurship in general? But for me, it's all deeply intertwined. The painful and challenging period of my life is that painful and challenging experience of my life is what set my journey to entrepreneurship and ultimately why I'm here today. I learned hard that a traditional career path was not for me. I spent years working in corporate environments that, while offering a sense of financial stability, significantly worsened my mental health and subsequently my substance abuse issues. It wasn't until I had the privilege of going to rehab that I had enough mental space and clarity to decide it was time to make a change. It wasn't until then that I realized nobody was going to build for me the life that I wanted, and frankly, that I needed to thrive. I decided to leave corporate America, move from Boonton back to Jersey City, where I consider home, and pursue the possibility of working for myself. For the next 5 years, I struggled weekly to make ends meet. I lived paycheck to paycheck, frequently borrowed money, and worked 2 or 3 jobs to compensate for the cushy corporate path I had left behind. Thankfully, having been someone who grew up in a low-income family, this was a struggle that I was intimately familiar with. Once again, underpinning the use of my past struggles to fuel the fire of my success. This series of decisions opened my mind to the possibility and experimentation of creating an alternate work environment, one that was conducive to the way my and countless other people's brains function with ADHD. In the spring of 2020, I ran my first ADHD live co-working stream, a virtual space for people like me to come together and work together. Since then, the development of this space has allowed me to help hundreds of people who struggle with the same difficulties I've grappled with my entire life. This shared experience and interconnectedness is, in a way, what brought all of us fellow graduates here today as well. Well, not me going to rehab, obviously, but struggle, hardship, adversity, suffering, whatever you want to call it. The pain that has come from these experiences in our lives is often so deep that we spend our whole lives trying to heal from it. Please don't get me wrong. I don't believe that pain is a prerequisite for success. However, I do believe that it is a motivator, a molding tool. And for the individuals who choose to transform their pain into something, a facilitator for their healing and the pathway to opportunity. Because after all, what is entrepreneurship if not the capacity to find, create, and nurture opportunity in places where opportunity did not once exist? Each of us shapes our opportunities based on the circumstances of who we are. For those of us who have come from environments that lacked resources, whether they were financial, emotional, or social, we are built differently because of those things. We know what it's like to feel that opportunity is out of reach, so we don't take it for granted once we get it. And that's what Rising Tide Capital and the CBA has done for my fellow graduates and me. We've been provided with resources that we previously did not have access to. and given space and community to nurture our ideas and aid in the actionable steps towards reaching our unique business goals. And aside from the invaluable business knowledge that I gained throughout my time with CBA, I'd say that the most crucial resources provided to me by this organization was the community, a community of like-minded people. One of the most powerful moments I experienced throughout the past 12 weeks was after switching to a new class halfway through the course due to a change in my work schedule. I was welcomed with open arms by a new group of entrepreneurs and CBA students. They made me feel supported and held as a newcomer in their class. They didn't miss a beat. A few weeks into the course, I learned of a new business competitor that sent me spiraling into a storm of self-doubt. My classmates were the people who grounded me, who got me back on my feet. They reminded me that I'm capable and worthy of success, and most importantly, that I should keep going. People who, a week prior, did not even know my name. As someone launching a business that hinges on accountability and community support, I can't think of anything more profound than having that same level of encouragement mirrored back to me by my fellow entrepreneurs. And so for my parting words, I hope to leave you with that same sentiment. Suppose you remember nothing else I said, which considering my ADHD, I probably won't even remember anything that I've said. But in that case, I hope you recall this. You are capable, you are worthy of success, and everything that you've been through, everything you will go through as you continue down this path that we call life is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to learn, to grow, to heal, and to help the people around you to do the same. So please keep going. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that powerful message. And thank you to all the speakers this evening. Good evening, everyone. My name is Alex Forrester. I am the co-founder and chief operations officer at Rising Tide Capital, and I am very honored to be here to share this moment with you all. Dr. Cornel West has a quote that best describes the idea at the heart of Rising Tide Capital. Justice is what love looks like in public. Justice is what love looks like in public. As we continue our journey through this season of disruption and loss, as we simultaneously confront the injustices that have long wounded our beloved community, this idea of the fundamental connection between love and justice takes on increasing urgency for the road ahead. We don't want to just go back to normal. We want something better than the way things were. The need to change our world is no cliche. But how do we change our world? When Alpha Demelash and I co-founded Rising Tide Capital together 18 years ago, we were guided by the idea that if you want to change the world, you have to start where you stand. Tonight, I see a community of powerful, inspiring CEOs going out into the world, each with the ability to change the places they stand in. Will you, as a CEO, work love and justice through your business? Who you hire, who you partner with, whose needs you cater to, how you treat customers and employees, the environment and the community around you. These are choices that matter. Do not underestimate how important you are to the story that needs to unfold for the world to change for the better. My role tonight is to present an award to one of our graduating CEOs. This award is in honor of Harvey George, a fellow CBA graduate and founder of an organization in Jersey City called the Friends of the Lifers. Harvey dedicated his life to supporting men and women who were returning from the criminal justice system. He believed you could use your business to support others in their times of need. He was our very first friend in Jersey City when we started Rising Tide, and he provided RTC its very first office on MLK Drive. When he passed away in 2012, we established this award to remember and honor his spirit, and to remind us all of the powerful role our businesses can play in pouring love out into the world and making justice real in our time. We select one graduate each semester who best exemplifies this spirit, and tonight we are proud to present this award to Cynthia Renta, whose message of love lived out in action as the restoration of frayed relationships is at the core of her work as a civic leader and as an entrepreneur. As a business owner, Ms. Renta is pursuing a path that combines art, healing, and science as tools for a redemptive approach to the relational harm and violence that ails our world. Her business, Craft Communities, provides training, resources, and restorative practices that aim to heal broken relationships by teaching participants the skills to navigate conflict, restore trust, and build community. Ms. Renta utilizes a scientifically grounded system for building social emotional health and guides groups of people to experience and adopt restorative practices. In her executive summary, Ms. Renta cites research that shows that 80% of relational ruptures are caused by miscommunication and the inability to dialogue and reconnect across divides. The skills to do so, particularly when provided to young adults, represent a powerful source of mediation, reconciliation, and resilience that can prevent the kind of social ruptures that perpetuate harm in our world. What better example could we have of Dr. West's quote, that justice is what love looks like in public, than a purpose-led business like Craft Communities, which seeks the restoration of broken relationships through the cultivation of loving practice. And the relevance of such an initiative in our time could not be more acute. We are living in a time of great change, of loss and grief. Chronic stress is taking a severe toll on our mental health as individuals and as a society. You may have witnessed in your own lives the rising amount of conflict, tension, and relational strain that has occurred in personal and professional relationships over the past few years. We've been navigating months of quarantine, personal illness, caring for others, the static nature of remote work, financial uncertainty, and more. And all of these pressures has stripped away many of the ways we're able to nurture the health of our personal and social lives. We need help. In some ways, the increasingly digital nature of so many of our relationships is exposing an underlying poverty in our social emotional skills. Like a thumb at the end of a garden hose, the constriction of so many of our relationships into technologically mediated form intensifies the pressures we must navigate and exposes the ways in which we've been severely underdeveloped in these areas. At the political level, we can even see how these forces are playing out in our democracy. Beyond polarization and partisanship, it is also our public discourse about racial justice that exemplifies the urgency and importance of a business like Craft Communities. Only through restorative practices can we build something like a beloved community in which pluralism and diversity live hand in hand with equity, inclusion, and community. Indeed, businesses like Ms. Renta's are not just individual candles of inspiration, but represent shining examples of a larger global movement for restorative justice that has much to offer to the way we understand what needs to change when we are talking about systems change. We might consider that at the root of every broken system is a broken relational frame whose redemption requires a focus on how to restore the relationships at the center of them. In a time when the urgency of our moment seems to capture our attention on the immediate crises, Craft Communities asks us, how might we save the future from pursuing the historical pathways that have led us to dead ends in the present? How can we repair what is broken and build something stronger through intentional practices of engagement? This is key to our understanding of what resilience looks like and how it can prepare us to build what one of my favorite authors calls the more beautiful world our hearts know is possible. To change the world, as we recall, we must start where we stand. We must start where our relationships are hurting and apply love in those places as the practice of pursuing justice itself. We are grateful to the guides and teachers out there like Ms. Renta who can teach us these essential skills, and we are inspired to imagine what the world could look like if we listen. Ms. Renta, we are honored to know you, to have you part of the Rising Tide community of entrepreneurs. On behalf of everyone here tonight, we wish you success in your journey and pray that the spirit of Harvey George, the spirit of justice as love in action, continues through your work as a symbol of what we all as a community must seek to achieve through our enterprises. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Community Business Academy, for pouring into myself and my children and my children's children. Thank you for all of the instructors and our guest appearances that helped us along the way, especially Miss Charlene for always being available when I called, when I thought I couldn't do it. She just gave me words of encouragement to complete this task. So I appreciate you.
Go ahead, Pacha. I see you, sister.
It's an honor to me to speak with you about my favorite class, business class. I got a lot of benefit and information and a lot of experience in this class. And now I want to thank to everyone and every field can give us or provide us anything like this class business. I want to thank CBA team and the Rising Tide Capital, Miss Noel and Miss Iman, and Family for Literacy, sure, and the New City Kids. I feel that it's a different year for me, because I feel that I feel a lot of comfortable between this community now compared with the last time, and I'm so happy. So thank you, Miss Agency. Thank you so much for you, and it's an honor to me to speak with you today. Thank you so much.
Well, that is it. What an amazing, amazing night. Michelle, how do you feel about tonight? We have new family members that we're embracing and bringing into the Rising Tide Capital family. So what are your thoughts about tonight?
Honestly, Kim, tonight was nothing short of magical. Our entrepreneurs have shown great strength, tenacity, and resilience in the last 12 weeks. And honestly, we couldn't be prouder. You are all remarkable individuals, and I am so grateful that you chose to become a part of the Rising Tide Capital family. Para todos los emprendedores, sigan rompiendo barreras y no se rindan. Felicidades.
Yes, and thank you again to all the graduates, to all of our guests, to the guest speakers, to the supporters. A very special thank you to NJCU and the Rising Tide Capital staff, who were so instrumental in making sure that this night happened and that this event went off without a hitch. Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you at the next graduation. Congratulations, class of 2022 Spring Class Community Business Academy. You all rock. We look forward to seeing you in BAS. Everybody have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Well,
Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Congratulations.
Congratulations on graduating the community.
Congratulations, everyone.
Felicidades,
Hard work,
congratulations.
determination,
Buenas noches.
vision.
To my
Gracias. Felicidades.
Felicitaciones.
Huge
Gracias.
congratulations.
La queremos,
and
Ico.
best of luck.
Felicidades.
Thank you, Krishna.
Congratulations
por todo.
Me va a gritar. Felicidades a todos. Gracias.
Ana y Marcos, gracias para la organización Rising Tide Capital en el estado de New Jersey. Hoy quiero felicitarte. Igualmente, esa meta que un día te propusiste, acabas de lograrla. Estoy aquí para felicitarte por tu graduación y para desearte grandes
Sí, se puede.
éxitos en tu negocio.
Congratulations to my resilient masterminds. My highlight was watching how you supported and cared for each other over the 12 short weeks that you had together. Your resilience was building along the way. Remember that success is a journey and not a destination. The doing is more important than the outcome. So keep doing what you love.
Hola, muy buenas tardes, graduados. Me llamo Margarita Jane Arquedas y trabajo para Rising Tide Capital en el grupo de comunicaciones y marketing. Bienvenidos a la familia Rising Tide y felicidades en graduarse. Por favor, tómase un momento para sentir realmente la enormidad de este momento. No olvides que ya tienes en su corazón lo que necesitas para hacer grandes cosas. Y también estamos aquí para ayudarte en el camino. Felicidades y cuídate mucho.
Hello, Wednesday Class 234, aka Legacy Makers. Congratulations. I am so happy you have done what you needed to do to be here tonight. I want to wish you much continued success, love, and happiness. Always remember, you are a legacy maker and you rock. God bless you.
Hola a todos, felicidades por este gran logro. Este es solamente el inicio de un futuro brillante. La familia Rising Tide Capital y yo estamos muy orgullosos de ustedes. Enfóquense en mejorar cada día, tanto en el ámbito personal como en lo profesional. Recuerden, cuando se quiere, se puede y ustedes son la prueba de eso. El cielo es el límite. Buena suerte.